Is the media exaggerating coronavirus? Are we creating panic? Now, there has been a lot of talk about the fact that this whole thing is exaggerated and it's not really such a big deal and people are taking it too seriously, and of course WhatsApp is making a very big deal out of it. So I've decided to simply give you the facts so you can decide for yourself what sort of precautions you want to take and if you want to stay on the safe side. Alright, so first of all, we know that the World Health Organization has declared this a pandemic in the last week. Coronavirus has been around for several months. We've been talking about it for months. China's had it for months. But the World Health Organization held back on declaring it a pandemic. What does a pandemic mean? A pandemic is an infectious disease that spreads across countries and is now spread across the globe, as opposed to an epidemic that perhaps will stay in only one area. Now, in the last 100 years of the history of the human race, we have had 7 pandemics. And this is case number 8. And that should give you an idea of how serious it is when the World Health Organization, I beg your pardon, uses the term pandemic. So we've had 7 cases in 100 years, and this is case number 8. So this is serious. It is an infectious disease that has spread across the world, and it is spreading fairly quickly. Now, there has been talk about the fact that the mortality rate is about 1% or 2% or 3% or 4%, depending on which country it is in. My response to that is, if one person dies, and that person is someone's loved one, could be yours, could be mine, could be somebody's loved one, that's still one person too many, right? So I wouldn't want to dismiss anything by saying that the rate is really low, because even one person dead is something we should worry about. And the reason why we should all take this seriously is because this is actually a chain effect. The spread of this disease we've understood from China, from looking at what countries like South Korea have done and what countries like Italy failed to do, is that this is a chain effect, sort of like how pyramid marketing functions, where one person could give the virus to 4 people, and then those 4 people could give it to 4 more people, and those 4 people give it to 4 people each, and so now it is spread at a really fast pace. So being able to take precautions, and each and every person in that chain matters, to be able to take precautions at the right time will stem that curve and make sure that we control it. Now, it's just come to India, so what can we do? Now, this is a simplistic answer, but doctors all over the world agree that washing your hands frequently is the best way to keep this at bay. At least 20 seconds you wash your hands for. Don't have to keep the tap running for 20 seconds. Put soap on your hands and wash your hands for 20 seconds on all sides, including the fingernails, and do it as often as you can. I would have a request here for all public spaces, whether it's malls or offices or schools, wherever it is, you please stock decent hand wash soap in all bathrooms, and not the diluted one that makes no difference. You'll be saving lives, literally. So wash your hands as often as you can. The second thing is to maintain a distance from other individuals, because we don't know if someone is infected and they could be carrying around the virus, but we wouldn't find out. So 3 feet is what is recommended by doctors, is the distance to keep from each other. Avoid touching other people as much as possible. No handshakes. Avoid touching surfaces that are touched by other people. And this normally happens in lifts, doorknobs, staircases, public spaces where people tend to hold on to things very often. Try and avoid that. Avoid swimming pools completely. Gyms as far as possible. Do not touch your face when you're in a gym, because gyms tend to be spaces that people touch. People touch the machines a lot. So try and avoid public places. Yes, it does seem like this disease is, senior citizens tend to be more vulnerable to this disease. So if you are a senior citizen, just stay home. Avoid traveling completely. Avoid crowded places completely. Try and stay home as much as possible. And practice what they're now calling respiratory hygiene, which is cover your nose, cover your face, when you cough or when you sneeze, and stay away from other people who are coughing and sneezing. Carry a handkerchief with you as much as you can. Carry tissue, dispose of it, and if you do have a cough or a fever, or you're showing any signs of flu, go get yourself tested. You can find this on government websites right now. There are places in all of our cities where we can go get tested. So if you're feeling ill, go get yourself tested. as far as possible, keep your kids at home. And I know it's going to be difficult to tell your kids not to go down and play or not to go out and play with their friends, but as far as possible, because you don't know what they're touching or what goes in their mouth when they're playing. So as far as possible, try and keep your kids at home. Avoid touching your eyes, your nose and your mouth, and stay safe. Of course, don't believe everything you hear on WhatsApp. There are reliable sources of information right now. Look out for cautionary information that's coming from the government. The government is putting out information. Each of our state governments are taking control of the situation as well. So pay attention to what the state governments are telling us. So, as far as panic is concerned, here's my response. There's no need to panic. Stay calm. But there is a need to take precautions for yourself and for your family, and to make sure that we keep the country safe and we keep everyone safe at this point. We're not passing it on. So as far as possible, stay safe. Keep those precautions in mind. Avoid large gatherings, avoid parties, avoid going to conferences, avoid travel as far as possible unless absolutely necessary. And if you are taking an option of working from home, it's a good thing. Also remember to give that option to your maids and your cooks and your drivers as well, so that they can also be safe. Stay safe and good luck.